Hi everyone. We're at all stations go at the moment. Everything is happening and I'm actually quite glad it couldn't have come at a better time because obviously with everything happening with Emporio, all these distractions and busyness has been very welcomed. I'm still getting an incredible amount of support from you guys, which is very, very sweet. And I want to take a moment to thank you for that. I do really appreciate it. But there's loads going on. November couldn't be busier. There's some things we need to get into. I feel like I need to set you guys higher because I'm looking down at you and I don't enjoy that. Where can I? Shall I put you here? Things couldn't be busier. There couldn't be more going on. I'm going to give you a small breakdown of November for you. Well, firstly, next week or in a week and a half, I have a really exciting video I'm going to do with Enzo. We're going to have our first proper lesson together. It's going to be like a whole thing because obviously we're getting to the point where I'm going to be taking Enzo home in a month or two, as soon as we're kind of ready to take him. And all of a sudden I'm going to have this fall on my hands and I want to make sure I'm doing a good job. So I've booked a lesson in. So we're going to be taking Enzo and the mum together because they're still together for a lesson. I want to get some tips and some information on just what do I do with this fall when he's home? What do I do? So that's happening. Then all the installs for the barn are happening because Yes and I have made our decisions on everything. We've picked everything for the barn. Everything is finalized. I'm going to take you guys in there. You guys know that we worked with an interior designer for everything in the barn. She's called Andrea from Equine Residences. She's in the States, but she works worldwide. I could not recommend her more highly. So Yes, me and her all sat down on a Zoom because obviously we work remotely, even though she's come here and seen the place and everything. We sat down and we finally finalized everything and made our order. And now that our order has been placed, everything is going to be installed at the end of this month. This month. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it. I think in the next week or two, the rubber is being done on the 2 tack ups and the wash bay. Do you know what I mean? We're in this stage that it's like bam, bam, bam. Everything is ordered for the tack room as well. I mean, you guys saw that the floor went in, but all the cabinetry, custom cabinetry has been ordered. I haven't found the sink. Don't even get me started. The sink keeps me up at night. I cannot even get started on the sink. But Andrea's team from Equine Residences did the most incredible renderings of how we're going to do the barn. So I'm going to tour you through the barn and show you the space and show you the renderings so you guys get like a finalized look at how it's going to come together. It's basically an image of how it's going to be. I showed already some of my friends the renderings and they were like, wait, is this a photo? And I said, no, it's a rendering. That's how good the quality is. But you guys will see what I mean when we head in there in a second. I'm gonna move you for this next information because you guys need to fasten your seatbelts for this one. Are you ready? So I'm excited to announce that today's paid partner is BetterHelp. You guys have heard about my therapy journey before. I have told you guys that it's been life-changing over the past 5 years. There is no guidebook to life. There is no instruction manual you do have to figure it out a little bit on your own. But at the same time, you don't. And that's where having a therapist comes in. Someone to talk to, someone that you don't have to bear that burden to. Sometimes with my friends, I feel like I don't want to make them my therapist. I don't want to be too much, dive in too deep. I want to keep it lighthearted and fun. And I found it really healthy to have like a go-to person that's dedicated to that space in my life. But then when I walk out of my session, I can leave it there as well. It's like a safety net, a safe space where I can share, I can grow, and I can learn. Now, I know a lot of you guys are in the same boat and you're thinking about maybe finding someone, and that's where BetterHelp comes in. Starting therapy can feel overwhelming, but that's where BetterHelp makes it super simple. You'll get matched with a credentialed therapist who really listens and helps you work through whatever's on your mind, all from the comfort of your own home. Just fill out a quick questionnaire to get started, and if your first match isn't the right fit, you can always switch therapists anytime, free of charge. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp has helped millions get the support they need. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, now is the time. Click the link in the description or just go to www.betterhelp.com/MattHarnacke, and in doing so, you'll get 10% off your first month. I'm very excited for you guys to enter this journey of self-discovery. So good luck, and thank you again, BetterHelp, for being today's paid partner. So you guys, I think you figured it out that when I do something like 1000% straight away. And the other day, Yes and I, you will notice this already on my Instagram, but the other day, Yes and I were sitting at a cafe, and at the cafe there was this book, and it was called like Slipjacht of the Netherlands, like 100 years celebration, which means drag hunting, which is basically like fox hunting, but fox hunting in the Netherlands is illegal. There's no foxes being used. It's called a drag hunt or a scent hunt. And so we started to look through this book, and of course, well, you guys might not know, but Jesse did it for many, many years. Jesse was the whipper-in, and he worked at a hunting yard as well, looking after the horses, the stables, and also being the whipper-in. Again, no foxes at all are involved. They don't even use a fox to collect urine or anything. There is no foxes involved at all. But we were looking through this book, and I was looking at these incredible horses, incredible Dutch countryside, these incredible outfits. And I'm all about this like English heritage. It's like everything I love. And I looked at Yes and I said, why have we never done this? I'm like, you love it. You've done it for so many years. Why have we never done it? Now, I will say easier said than done, because these clubs, these hunting clubs are private and you have to be invited in. Luckily, Jesse has some contacts. We've pulled some strings. I think in 2 weeks, we're gonna be attending our first hunt. I cannot believe it. There's so much we're gonna have to learn together with you guys as well, because I'm gonna kind of take you on the hunt as well. It's incredible. But there's like a whole etiquette of what you have to buy and what you have to like wear. There's like a whole sequence of events. We have to like rent 2 horses for the hunt, because obviously Yes and I don't have horses that are trained for this. Now the thing about the hunts, of course, you can jump hedges, gates, ditches, but in the Netherlands, you always have an option to go around them. So you're not forced. I mean, some small jumps and some small ditches you can't go around, but for the most part, you can always take an easier like side route. So I feel more confident about that. Of course, Jess has done it for many years. He won't have an issue. I am, on the other hand, am quite nervous. But I'm very, very, very excited about that. So in the next coming vlogs, I'm going to show you guys, because I've ordered so much stuff. I'm going to show you guys like wearing it and how it has to be worn and learning it myself. And I'm going to take you guys on the hunt with Jesse. And the place we're renting horses from, we're going to go try the horses first, just to make sure that it clicks, they're the right fit, and maybe have a couple of jumps at their stables as well. And that's in 2 weeks. So all happening. Then at the end of November, Jesse and I are returning to 𝒐𝒏, which is the biggest PRE show in the world in Spain. It's like, it's where I bought Valero. Do you guys remember when I was just walking past, I was like looking at a horse to buy, and then all of a sudden this magnificent black stallion was to my right, and I was like, hold on a minute, who's this? Who's this horse? And I ended up buying him from that show. Obviously, due to very sad circumstances, I'm down one horse, and actually I've been looking even before, because Emporio was already retired. I've been looking, keeping an eye out for anything interesting that comes up on the market, because I have a very young foal, which is not really rideable for the next 2 years. I have one very young horse, Valero, which you don't ride that much. And Etro is there, but I need a little bit more going. I mean, horses is what I do for my life. So it's like, I want to keep riding more. So I am looking for another horse. So we are going to be horse shopping at 𝒐𝒏. Again, I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. And then as soon as we come back from 𝒐𝒏, the installs start here at the barn. So it's a jam-packed, and there's maybe one trip to France, but that's not confirmed yet. But there might be one trip to France in between, which I'm going to show you guys. It's got to do with an equestrian chateau. That's all I will say for now, but there will be more explanations on that later. So I'm just glad to have all these very exciting, fun things happening. And then hopefully we can kind of like distract ourselves from all the other stuff. The weather has been glorious. The autumn colors are out. It's incredible. All right, we're gonna stop faffing. I'm gonna take you guys into the barn, and I'm gonna show you a little bit the current state of things and the renderings, and give you a finalized look at all the choices that we've made. And some things have already arrived, like some of the stuff that they could make a little bit quicker is already here. So I'm gonna show you some of that too. Actually, before we head there, I wanted to show you guys one thing in here. That's something you guys are gonna be seeing in some of the coming vlogs. The curtains for the kitchen for these 2 windows have arrived. I think they're gonna be really cute. I haven't opened them yet, but you'll see them being installed in one of the next vlogs, and I'll give you a better look around the kitchen. as well. But I told you guys that we were kind of really struggling with finding like bar stools for in here. So Jesse just took the plunge and bought one as a trial. It's just, you know, it's not that we bought it because it was like, oh, it's a super luxurious thing. We were like, let's see if we like the shape and the style. I will say on camera it looks better because you don't really see the true color. The color is a little bit more like green, yellow toned. I don't know if you can see it better from here, but I'm not horribly offended by it. This is currently what we've been using, which has been hurting my soul, this chair situation. So this, I don't know, maybe we will get a couple more just for now until we find the perfect thing. Maybe if I can stain them darker to match more like the kitchen color. I don't know, we will see. Right, let's head into the barn and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an update and impression of where we're at. Here we are, walking right through. It's a little bit, there's a lot going on in here, so just mind the mess a little bit. So, barn here. I'm gonna stand here because this is kind of like where the first rendering you will see in a second when I pop the rendering up. So this is how the barn is now, which has already changed a lot. I mean, you guys know that it's changed a huge amount from when we first bought the property. This is the rendering of how it will look in just 2 months' time. Isn't it incredible? How helpful is it to see things like this? Because obviously you guys will see in the middle, we've done this beautiful rubber floor. It's a custom tile that we've ordered from a very good company, but I'll tell you guys more about them in the future. So all rubber in the middle. Then you can see how much brighter everything is because of the skylights. In the renderings, we put skylights on the left side of the roof as well. That's something that we're not doing now, but potentially in the future we could do. We just wanted to see kind of the impression of what it would look like. And then the piece de resistance, I mean the stables, and that is the Berlin design. And what we've actually done, you can see on the rendering that the stables are popping in and out. And what we've actually done is on this post where it goes up, there's going to be a lantern at the top as well. So that is all very, very exciting. And we've also made the executive decision that all the finishes in the barn will be brass, which I'm thrilled that we were able to do it. First we were going back and forth with silver, not silver, but in the end, everything will be brass. So like all the handles for the stables, the hinges that hold the doors, the decorative toppers for the posts, it's all gonna be in brass. And we have tried as much as possible to try and get a match. We want to obviously do everything customized because the building is so unique. So we have gotten a pretty good match from 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚. We sent them a wood sample of what kind of color we have here in the barn, and they were able to send us back a pretty accurate match on a custom oil that they're going to put on the wood in order to get as close to it as possible. Now, this is the color. It's like an oak. You can see, look, if I just hold it up here, you can see with the roof, it blends in pretty well. It's not going to be perfect everywhere because some woods are a little bit different than others, but overall, all the wood has more this gray, it's like a gray muted tone. And the pillars, some pillars are a little bit darker because they've had cows rubbing on them and they've been exposed to livestock. And some are lighter, but this is the closest match we could get to kind of go with the whole feel of the barn. So this is the finish we're going to be going for. Very, very exciting. As I said, end of this month, they're coming to do everything. We're going to be busy in the meantime. We have like the painters coming for all the doors, loads going on. Now, let me show you the tack-ups, because the tack-ups I'm thrilled about. It's going to be incredible. This is what they look like right now. Obviously, in here being the room to go to the tack room. So take it in ready. And this is how we're planning the tack-ups to look once we are finished. It's sophisticated, it's still traditional, but it's like 21st century management of horses. Some things are gonna be taken in steps here, but for the most part, that's the idea. That's how it's going to go. So yeah, I'm thrilled. Really, really, I'm thrilled. It is coming together. I know it looks, when you see the barn like this, you think, okay, you're miles away, and sure we are, but I think in the next 2 months, it is all going to really start to come together. This is what I wanted to show you because the 2 posts for the wash bay have already gone in. They're not fully finalized. They've only been drilled. They're going to be finished. But here you can see the powder coating that we've gone for. This is the powder coating that's going to be on the stables as well. It's not black. It's not gray. It's like an in-between. It's called antraciet, I think, in Dutch. I'm not sure actually how you call that in English. This is the problem of living in a country that's not English speaking. You start to forget your own language. But on top of here, there's like a round kind of disc, and that is where the brass cap is going to sit and finish. But I think this is going to look really, really, really nice. We did have a little bit of a debate, however, of how we were going to do it here with the tack up posts, because it's a bit of a tricky situation with the door of the tack room being here. We always knew this was going to be a little bit of a headache, but there's not that much you can do when you're working with a pre-existing building, which wasn't exactly made for this. I do have a little snippet of me, 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, and my dad having a conversation and trying to figure out where everything was going to go. So here we're starting to get an impression of what it's gonna look like. So the horses will be tied up between these 2 poles like this. The tricky part about this tack up is that it's so close to the tack room. And so we need to just understand a little bit how it's gonna go. We want to leave enough space between the posts and the middle divider and this side that you can still walk through it, because you don't want to have to go under the horse every time. They're quite high, aren't they? How far do they go down? Ah, okay, that's better. So they will go down 30 centimeters once they're in the concrete. So they're not going to be this tall, exactly. But I think that works nicely like this, also because we have to mirror the same thing on the other side. So I think that works. I think that looks nice. So clearly we haven't made an exact decision yet about what we're going to do. But things are progressing and things are coming along. I'm going to take the dogs out because 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 told me to come visit him at the outdoor because he was riding gallo and he wanted me to have a look. So maybe we pop down and check out how 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 is going with him. Nothing like a beautiful autumn day. Can we take a moment just to appreciate the glory of autumn right now? It's incredible. All right, I see 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 down there. He's in the indoor, and I also hear something else going on there. We'll have a look. We've had actually a little bit of bad luck this morning because 𝒂𝒐𝒍𝒏𝒆𝒚, which is of course one of 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐's horses, he had choke. I don't know if you guys know what that is. We've had it happen a couple of times with horses over the years. Not that much, of course, but when you've owned horses for a while, it happens. But choke is when a horse gets something stuck in their throat and they go into this very repetitive cough, because horses can't vomit and they can't gag. Well, actually, I say they can't gag, but it actually looked like 𝒂𝒐𝒍𝒏𝒆𝒚 was trying to gag. But they go into this chronic cough because they have something stuck. And if they can't get it out by themselves, or if you can't kind of like palpate it away, you need to get the vet out. In the end, it all went fine, but it's very dramatic when it happens because they're coughing up all this mucus and they're salivating, and it looks horrific. It looks like something very horrible is happening. But luckily, he seems to have come out of it now. We just kind of have to keep an eye on him for a while and see how it goes. Oh, update on the lawn. Looking incredible, all of it. It's looking really, really nice. I have had to reseed some very, very small patches, and I've got the robot mower. I've got the Luba 2. This is our robot mowers that we use to kind of maintain the whole property. I've got it out again now because finally it's dry enough that there isn't these giant puddles everywhere. It's going to need to do a couple of passes because it's quite long and quite stringy, but it's doing a great job. But it's looking really nice. See, this is where I've been reseeding a little bit. I want to show you, this is how wet it's been. It's just been very wet. Pillars are still going strong. We have not popped the balls in yet. Hi ladies, are you guys also watching here? It's so nice to have some spots now to just be able to sit here and enjoy the beautiful view, huh? Yeah, good girls. Here's Mr. 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘. I was already thinking a little bit, how's it going to be when I bring Valero home here? And I only have the outdoor to ride in. And of course, with a young horse, you use the walls so much, but I hope it will be okay. It's good that he has like one 1.5 more months to really get a little bit more stability before he comes here. I just got a call from my dad. No time to rest here. I just got a call from my dad that they delivered the tack room door from 𝒂𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, and that's because we obviously need to do the tack room interiors, and having a door helps with that, especially once we need to start heating it and all that kind of stuff. So they were very gracious to send us the door already. So I am just gonna put the dogs away, and then we're gonna get to look at the door for the very first time together, which is exciting. This hair with this wind is not collaborating. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop the dogs away, and then I think my dad wants to install it, so I might need to give him a hand lifting it up. This is German quality stuff. It's good products. I felt a little bit strange saying it at the showroom when we visited, but I didn't want to gas them up too much in front of their face. But 𝒂𝒐𝒍𝒐𝒘 really is the Ferrari of the horse world when it comes to the products, their name. Also in the Netherlands, when a house is sold, you'll see in the description, like if it's a house with stables, it will say like 𝒂𝒐𝒍𝒐𝒘 stables, because it's such a prestigious brand to have. We're so lucky to be able to, of course we work with them, but also to be able to have them in the stable. That's very exciting. Good girls, go in. All right, let's take a look at this door. Ooh, hold on, let me spin you guys. Here it is. Here is the door. Ooh, that looks really nice. So we went for this. This is the inside that you're seeing, because the cross will be on the outside. So the whole frame will be placed on the inside there. We're actually going to place in a second. Yes is coming as well to give a hand so we can put it in. But that looks really good. And actually the wood looks pretty nice as well. I mean, if you compare like the colors, I mean, it will be easier when we see it on top. But overall, that looks really, really nice. I think it's going to be pretty hefty. Wait, yeah. It's good we do it with 3 people. The quality is so nice. I love this finish that we've gone for. Very, very nice. Looks beautiful. But this is going to be quite difficult to hold.
No, you can hold. Wait. Yes, hold more. Don't push.
Careful. Looks nice. It looks so nice. Now this is a quality door. I'll tell you that much. Especially if you've lifted it, then you know. And so this has to get filled. So this will get filled so it's flush. It's a nice big door. Well, like rendering like the same stuff as the wall, because this has to be finished at the same amount. The color looks so nice with the floor as well.
I want to see it closed.
Instant satisfaction wanted.
I'm impressed with that.
Meanwhile, my dad is prepping everything so the door doesn't fall out on someone's face.
Okay, well done. Because look, even here is perfect. Yeah, I know.
Nice. Nice, yes, so nice. I love the logo. The logo looks so nice. Wow, it's in. Now you get to see the color a little bit more with the similar lighting that is in the whole barn without direct light, because nothing really has like fully direct light in here. Okay, it's hard to tell. It looks nice, right? Look, it looks pretty good. We can't close the door yet because it's not like sealed, like it's not screwed in.
Quite crazy that it's becoming real.
This is the first interior.
At one point you just are used to living like this, but
yeah.
It's actually something coming.
Yeah, this is the first like pretty interior thing that's happened.
Don't mind my look, I just rode.
I know, well, they saw that you were riding. But this looks nice. I'm happy with this. This is a really big first step. Hold on, let's look from the inside. Bam, door.
When are we getting another package?
Well, I think the rest will all come together at the end of November. Yeah, looks really nice, right? Good morning, guys. It's another day here and another mayhem. I don't know how I forgot to say this because I was giving you guys the plans for what was going to be happening in November, and I seem to just have quickly glazed over the fact that we are going to have 136 windows changed in our house, which is every single window is being changed from single glazing to vacuum glass, which means that the insulation levels are super high. Vacuum glass is even stronger than double or triple glazing. It's got one of the highest like heat retention values you can have. Obviously, with our house having so many windows, the windows when they're cold in the winter act exactly as a radiator would. A radiator heats up and that's what heats the room. Windows are very cold, matching the outside temperature, and that's what cools the room. So in a bid to try and make our house, let's say, more eco-friendly, because it's certainly not at the moment, we are doing our best, and part of that is starting here. We're also going to be placing insulation into the ceiling because there isn't any insulation there yet. So we're kind of going step by step, but the journey has started with the windows, and boy, oh boy, I was not ready for how much work exactly this was going to be. So currently we're on day 2. It started yesterday, and yesterday I tried to pick up a camera and vlog, but I was so overwhelmed because this whole side of the house was open. As you can see, everything has had to move because what they have to do first, so all these windows have changed already. This is the vacuum glass. It's clear. Typically vacuum glass has a slight color to it. We were adamant about the fact that we wanted it clear. So we paid a little bit more and got this specific type that is clear. So what they do first is they go into the frames, they cut everything out. They have to, like, I don't know, they use this tool and basically like dig out all of the putty and all that kind of stuff. I'll show you in the living room. The living room is a mess right now. But you can see right here what happens, all this kind of stuff. These 2 windows are currently missing. They have to be put on, but I believe every other window in here has been done except for that one. So it's coming. There's scaffolding. They're doing the upstairs already. I'm going to show you that in a second. But as you can see, it's an extremely messy process with glass a little bit everywhere. But okay, yesterday was really overwhelming because we didn't have a space in the house anymore that we could actually go to. It was everywhere was a mess and everywhere was a nightmare. And now at least these rooms are starting to feel a little bit more human. I'm gonna take you around the outside so I can give you a little bit of a better look of how that's looking. So here you can see a little bit that the bedrooms are starting to be done. And of course the first process is removing the glass. And also, as we're going, we're having to fix some rotten pieces of wood and all that kind of stuff as well. That's all being inspected as it's been done. And then up here, you can see that one of the bedrooms is being done. This window has been fully removed, and we've already redone the whole frame. That's been done because it was all rotten. So that's been completely redone. But it's quite the enterprise here. We've been very lucky that at least it's not raining. The office is now starting to be done. So they kind of started on this side of the house from the kitchen. That's also already finished. And then they're wrapping their way around. But yeah, it's no small feat. I think the difficult part for me also is that we finally just like started to get things looking a little bit better in the house. And this starts to feel like a little bit of a setback. Like it starts to feel like everything is being demolished again. But of course it's not. It's just part of the process. And actually, I think all of this will take about a week, which is not too bad. It's just one of those things that it makes everything quite difficult because the dogs can't be anywhere and we work from home. There's nowhere to sit to be able to take a phone call. But fate in the process. This whole frame here is also all rotten. So that's all gotten redone as well. And that will be reinstalled also this week. And I wanted to show you the only thing, there might be some of you guys that are thinking, okay, why vacuum glass instead of the other glass types like double or triple glazing? Good thing about vacuum glass, super thin, super thin. So we didn't have to change anything to do with our windows themselves. That all stays the same. And this house being old, we wanted to keep everything original. The only thing I will say, the only small downside about vacuum glass is that there is like, because it's vacuum, there is these tiny kind of like sealing points, which are these like very small dots. Obviously, when you look like this, you don't see them because they're very small. But if you go very close to the glass, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out. You'll be able to see that. Do you see how there's a little dot right here? So there's lines of little dots on the window. That's only something if you see if you're very close. But you win some, you lose some, you can't have everything in life. And that's standard. Every single vacuum glass has that. But as I said, you really do not see it. Not unless you're standing directly in front of the glass. And even then you can very clearly see through it. So this whole window is done. Almost basically that whole room is done. And the kitchen is done. So that's a little bit of a recount on how that's going. A small update on the hunt. We have finalized which hunt we're going to be going to first, which is very exciting. And I checked the weather and they were predicting snow. So that's going to be something. I might have to get some base layers underneath. We're still like quite far out, so the weather for sure will change. But I mean, how beautiful would that be to have the very first hunt in the snow? I mean, it couldn't get any more magical than that, could it? But I think for today, that's everything. Yes and I are actually, you guys are going to see it in the next vlog, but Yes and I today are going to go try the 2 hunting horses that we are going to be renting for the hunt. So we're traveling to the stable and they have a little like cross-country course. We're going to be popping over a couple of jumps and seeing how that feels. So actually we need to get going pretty soon for that. But you guys will be seeing that in the coming vlog. But yeah, I hope that next time I report to you guys, we're going to be a little bit further ahead with all this glass, but I will keep you guys updated with the progress. And also, I mean, this is a very unique thing, but for anyone that's considering this, I will kind of keep an eye out over the next couple of months, how much of an influence we see on our gas bill, you know, on our heating bill, how much of a difference it makes. But our architect was already predicting that it would cut our cost down by 1/3, roughly. So that's already a great start, because as you can imagine, with a home like this that runs purely on gas, and it's got, you know, many rooms, it's very high ceiling, not very well insulated, the pricing for the heating is very high. So any little step that we can do to minimize that and bring that back down will be good. But that's it for now. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to think about all of our choices we made for the barn and what you guys think of the rendering. It's kind of a little bit of a snippet into the future. So let me know down in the comments below. Love to always read your guys' opinion. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Bye.